Let's face it, hiring help is not easy these days. Let XenTegra Staffing help you find the right person for the right job. Head over to XenTegra.com/XenTegra Staffing to find out more and let us staff your people needs. Welcome to another Citrix Session with your host, Andy Whiteside and Bill Sutton, your source for all things Citrix.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the Citrix Session podcast. I'm your host, Andy Whiteside, and of course, I have with me Bill Sutton, the Director of Services at XenTegra. Bill, how's it going?
Going well today, Andy. How about yourself?
That's well, we were just talking about it, right? I just got back from a ski trip out west. I took a red eye home. I did finally invest in a really good neck pillow. It was $40 at the airport, but it was worth every penny of it. I actually slept. Not like I was in the bed, but I actually slept on the plane as if I slept without suffering. How about that?
There you go. That's good. That's great. I've never used one of those.
I would highly recommend getting like the double layer one, super plush, has a little thing that clips around your neck. This one actually clips to the back of the seat. It was awesome. I wish I'd have done it 5 years ago. Hey, so we have with us, we have Beau Dolinsky and Tony Hildebran from Citrix. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, Andy.
Hey, Andy, doing well.
You guys, well, Beau authored it, but you guys worked on it together. I think a blog that we're going to review here called "We're Adding Citrix Consulting Expertise to Our Partner Projects." I have to tell you, and I know we've talked about it some before this call. This is something that I've wanted for a long time, you know, as a Citrix consulting firm and as a former Citrix employee working with Citrix Consulting on projects. It was just always really well done at CCS, and I really wanted that to flow over into my partner world, and to a large degree it has. Right? We have a lot of consultants that have worked for both organizations, but the idea that we're going to take the concept of what Citrix does and add that as a layer into a partner project so the customer gets a good result. That's what we're going to cover here, but it's been a long time coming for me. I'm glad you guys had the program. Hey, I guess before we jump into this, Beau, do you want to give us a little background on who you are and what you do at Citrix?
Of course. Thanks, Andy. So Beau Dolinsky, I run the Global Partner Services team. So really what that means is my team's focus on building relationships with partners such as XenTegra related to specifically services, though, not really at all product. So one of the programs that we're talking about today is the Partner Services Co-op, but my team's also responsible for other programs that we have developed that help our partners either have Citrix Consulting sell with our partners or help our partners deliver on those services.
And as we were talking about before this, right, it's a lot of partner talk here, but your ultimate goal at Citrix is to help customers get better projects, better implementations, and succeed and use more of the technologies, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So the reason why we're doing this, as you just alluded to, is, you know, if our partners are successful, we know our customers will be, right? And so at the end of the day, that's really why we're developing a lot of these programs, is to drive the most amount of customer satisfaction as possible.
Yeah, and let's just be honest here. I mean, I've touched a lot of projects through the years, but the Citrix projects that are the ones that entail more than just an app or two, those are just very demanding projects, and there's lots of decision trees and lots of ideas that go wrong, lots of things that go right. One of the things I love about this program, and we'll get into it here in a minute, is the idea that when somebody agrees that we're going to do this as part of the project, or we're going to implement this or that, in this case, there's going to be more than one person making that decision. It always helps to have a teammate to kind of, if you're the customer, you feel better knowing that two people agree that's what we're going to do, or at least that's what we're going to try to do. And as a partner and as, I guess, the consultant at Citrix, it's good to have collaboration as well.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that really adds some assurances from a customer perspective. And I know when we get into the detail of the cooperative offering, you're really going to see a lot of that, in terms of why customers feel that this program is valuable to them.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, you want to give us a little background on yourself?
You bet, Andy. Thanks. Yeah, so I'm on Beau's team, and I'm a senior manager of partner services, and I cover the Americas for Beau, and run that program. I've been with Citrix for almost 2 years now, and came from a rather long tenure at Cisco, and I actually worked in partner services at Cisco for many, many years, and we actually had tried to do similar programs there with our partners because we had a very strong partner ecosystem there, as does Citrix. But met with some mixed results of that, and here on Beau's team, looking at the partner services co-op, I'm thrilled to be a part of this because I'm seeing Citrix being willing to fix some of the things and make it very attractive for partners to be able to work together on consulting projects. And that's not something that I've really seen with any other manufacturer before. And I really believe that it helps us together. I mean, if we're able to go in and sell projects and deliver projects together, it allows us to both provide significantly more value to our customers.
No, that's great. So Tony, let's jump into it. In the first section here, you guys mentioned that this is something that's going to be better, like we've been talking about here, for customers. Were you guys getting customer input that this is something they wanted to see out of Citrix and its partners?
Yeah, Andy, we actually do hear from customers quite a bit that they actually want. It's very beneficial for them to have access to resources from both our partners and Citrix. They like the local engagement and relationship that they have with their partners, and that's primarily because their partners are the best folks to know, to know their business, their stakeholders, and their IT environment. But oftentimes they also are looking to get direct access to Citrix resources as well. And I think a big part of this is you look primarily at emerging technologies, and cloud, I think today still definitely falls into that category. Certainly intelligent workspace that we're rolling out a big time this year falls into that category. As customers are looking at that, when a new technology is rolled out in the technology life cycle, typically most of the expertise of that is contained within the manufacturer, within Citrix. And it's not until the technology tends to mature that expertise gets, kind of flows out and gets distributed out into the field, and our partner ecosystem has an opportunity to do the training that they need to and bring resources up to speed that they need to be able to support that technology. So, during those kinds of implementations, if a customer has direct access to Citrix resources, what they find is that it gives them the ability to de-risk the potential success of the solution for them. So they really look for the best of both worlds. They look for access to their partner who knows their business, and they look for access to Citrix resources that is able to provide the expertise necessary to ensure a successful solution. And this program helps create a framework that enables that.
I guess you can kind of look at it as the partner is the extension of the customer, and the partner is the extension of the vendor. And at that point, things should start to come together, and hopefully things work out in the best for both. So, Bill, you're highly involved in what we've been doing at XenTegra now for a couple of years on the consulting side. What are your thoughts on Citrix having this program?
Well, you and I have talked about it, and I think it's a natural evolution of the selling process, both from Citrix and from our organization, from XenTegra, to be able to kind of co-sell with Citrix and then sit alongside them on the delivery of the solution. Allowing that expertise like Tony alluded to, but also the project management elements that Citrix provides around the project to help ensure customer success. I think it's a great offering, and Citrix has made it really attractive to the partners, ultimately making it more attractive to the customers as well. So I think as you and I have talked, we're all in for this.
So guys, that actually brings up a good question for me. The project management side of this falls onto the partner or onto Citrix?
Yeah, so Andy, it can be a combination of both. As we've structured the program, we actually rely on the partner for the primary delivery of the field engagement. However, part of the overall contract is delivered by Citrix, which enables us to engage both our enterprise architects, which is the technical expertise I just spoke about, but also our project delivery managers, which provides some project guidance and oversight, and some project leadership. So that is what that is primarily intended to do. And many times, however, we find that partners also like to engage some of their project management. So we're very flexible in that. And if the partner wishes to engage their project management as well, then their project manager will typically work very closely with our project delivery manager, and we'll do it together, and very much in a collaborative effort.
So, guys, you've got these 3 bullets here. I'm going to read them. First one, and these are things that are going to benefit the customer: design validation, direct access to Citrix resource, which I think Tony covered a minute ago, and then peace of mind. Design validation, right? You guys have all these projects under your belt, and most partners are not like XenTegra, right? They don't have a ton of I guess they're doing all kinds of projects, right? Citrix just isn't one of them, and we do a bunch, but Citrix is predominantly what we do. So having that second set of that second group to help validate just the design, right? Because a lot of people, I've had tons of projects through the years, and what I've seen most people do is they throw together something and then they come back and they put a document around the design of it after the fact. Well, I'm sure working with Citrix in this format, in this program, that design is going to have to come up front. It's going to have to be, signed off on, which is, that's something that everybody should be doing. But I think this program is going to force that to happen.
Yeah, we typically, obviously we've got experience across probably a larger customer set with our technology than it's possible for our partners to have. So we see a lot of different use cases and develop, some very good best practices over time. And we, put those in kind of standard design templates that give us the ability to communicate those best practices out to both our customers and through our partners. So yes, as part of the partner services co-op, the design validation is definitely a key component that is delivered by our enterprise architects that allows us to help the partner ensure that the customer is going to receive the best possible design with the most best practices included, and really increase the opportunity for success in the project. And then you also mentioned the peace of mind here, Andy, and that really, as the way that this is structured, the customer will get access, to the customer will know that Citrix and XenTegra are working closely and working together to both to deliver the project, and that we're both responsible for success of the project. So the customer is able to really hold both of our feet to the fire for success of the project. So it gives them a peace of mind that they are able to get skin in the game, not only from their local partner representation, but also from Citrix.
There's also another way to look at that too, is the Citrix team that's doing the selling a lot of times in these accounts. They'll also have some validation there and peace of mind that, the Citrix Consulting is going to have some role in making sure the customer is successful. It's not uncommon for a Citrix project to, maybe the customer has 10,000 users, but only the first 500 or so get virtualized, or maybe it's the second 500 or whatever it is. There's plenty of opportunities for something to go wrong before you ever get to that 10,000. And for Citrix and the partner to both know that they're collaborating to get, to keep the project, to keep the growth of Citrix success in the account going. There's got to be a lot of peace of mind for the vendor side of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And, us being able to work together, it just, collaboration creates a better solution for everybody involved.
I mean, it's possible, right? We're going to have an argument over a design element, but that's in the customer's best interest to have two people, positioning different opinions, and then the customer gets to help make that decision.
Yeah. I mean, if we challenge each other, we both get better.
Yeah, we get better, and I think we ultimately, at least hopefully, provide a better solution for the customer, which is the ultimate goal, right?
That's right.
Guys, and as you were saying, I'm thinking through projects I've been on in the past, it might be that we both decide to go right instead of left, but then one of us realizes quicker than the other that it was a wrong turn. There's been many projects I've been around that went right way too long, and maybe someone else could have recognized the wrong turn quicker.
Right.
So, Tony, you have one thing listed here under direct access to Citrix resources, and it actually mentions specifically technical support. And I will highlight, there's been multiple projects where we'd have to open a support ticket, and you might be waiting days for an answer that causes the project to go long. It causes extra hours to be used for the project. I guess in this case, right, the Citrix team that's helping with the project would have more of a direct access on getting something escalated or a response quicker, wouldn't it?
Yeah, what we find is that, that through the structure of this program, we are able to provide resources from a technical standpoint, of course, but other resources from a project delivery standpoint, to the point where we're able to actually treat the partner's delivery team the same that we would treat a Citrix employee delivery team. So we're able to provide access to tools and escalation paths that wouldn't necessarily otherwise be available. And that's good for our partners, and that's good for our customers. So if something does happen that needs to be fixed, it gives accelerated escalation paths within Citrix to get to, back to the folks that actually wrote the code. And, we can get down to root cause and solve problems much faster and much more efficiently and much more completely than we necessarily otherwise would be able to.
Right. Hey, so you guys have four bullets further down here that talk about the additional benefits of partnering and co-oping. And as I read through these, those jump out at me because, for example, the first one is installing cloud services or hybrid cloud environments. There's going to be situations where you guys are going to have more experience, more knowledge around Citrix Cloud and Citrix Cloud services, but potentially other clouds like Azure, Google, Amazon, AWS, opportunities for us to, be better together again, based on the toolbox that you guys have probably developed, working with various cloud technologies, not just the Citrix Cloud technologies.
Yeah, we are strategic partners with both Microsoft around Azure and Google around their Google Cloud platform, and we work with both manufacturers very closely, and oftentimes we not only have a lot of expertise around their cloud platforms, but we also are able to sometimes bring to market through our partners promotions from those. And a good example of that is right now we're running a promotion with Google to drive demand in the field around their Chrome environment, and we're able to provide Google is willing to fund an assessment around Chrome that is delivered through Citrix Consulting services, and so those types of partnership and relationship with our strategic partners, we're able to provide through our partners to our customers.
Yeah, I need to know about that. I need to sign up for that now. I've got some Google related activities coming up in the next month or so that I'd love to be able to partner on.
Then we should talk after this call.
Yeah, leads to another call. So another one that you have here, which you mentioned earlier, which is probably making this more relevant than even it was before, and that is the idea around Citrix Workspace with Intelligence and the ability to bring that into the mix. And that's going to be something that you guys are going to have more experience with quicker than the average partner, just based on your likelihood of touching it and being more involved in projects that relate to that quicker.
Yeah, and I actually may ask Beau, if you can, to perhaps comment on this just a little bit. Beau's been involved with a lot of our development around Workspace Intelligence. And Beau, can you?
Yeah, so with Workspace, Yeah, thanks, Tony. So with Workspace with Intelligence, we're seeing a completely new practice kind of have to be created because of how that product works. So historically, for years, Citrix partners that have done services as well as Citrix Consulting have been primarily focused on two areas, which is really the workspace of virtualization or networking with NetScaler ADC and things to that nature. With the Workspace with Intelligence, the way that the product works, it requires, if you're going to be building micro apps, or more of a web developer background with APIs and things like that. And so what we're doing with our partners that are embarking on doing services with our customers with Workspace with Intelligence is we're providing them the opportunity to enter into that space with the guidance from Citrix so that their consultants are going to be successful with a new type of services. In addition to the micro app element, we're also seeing a lot of need from business consultative type of approach, which is really having a better understanding across the board at customers to understand how they're utilizing the applications that they have to gain better efficiencies. So we're also providing some of that guidance back down to our partners that are as part of the co-op to give them that guidance as to what we think is important to our customers to maximize the efficiency of how they're utilizing their applications. It's, to help with adopt that product.
Yeah, I'm sure that's applicable anytime there's a new element of the Citrix offerings, and then specifically this one, there's potentially a ton of additional development that has to happen around integrating with those services that may or may not have their own integration points already.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, Beau. So what you're saying, just so that I'm clear, is that you're also looking at having business-oriented folks to help customers understand not just the benefits of Workspace with Intelligence, the concept, but understand where in their organization it can really provide at least the initial benefit, and then helping educate them on what it can do for them to help drive future growth.
That is correct, Bill. That's exactly right. Because at the end of the day, especially as we pivot more and more to cloud services, and Workspace with Intelligence is that, we're really making sure that our partners and our customers are adopting our technology. It's very important for the success of our customers that they're using that product. And so with that more business consultative approach, we're making sure that we are maximizing how our product can be used within a customer base.
That's great stuff.
And one of the other bullets you guys have here is around SD-WAN, which we're seeing in more and more of our opportunities. We are fortunate enough to have a team as XenTegra that does a lot of SD-WAN work, specifically Citrix SD-WAN work. But I can imagine if you got into a project where you didn't have that staff internally, that having Citrix as part of your team would be extremely valuable.
Yeah, we're finding that SD-WAN is, the adoption of SD-WAN overall in the marketplace has taken a couple of years here, but it's starting to build some momentum. We are a firm believer that Citrix has a fantastic SD-WAN solution to offer to our customers, but SD-WAN expertise in the marketplace is, somewhat limited. And it has taken us a bit of a time to develop our SD-WAN delivery capability internally. But, over the last year, I think we've done a very good job of that. And we've got, some good SD-WAN expertise and resources internally to provide to our customers through our partners. Also, within an ecosystem, it's very handy to, Andy, know that partners like you have SD-WAN resources as well. So if we do need to put something together, between partners, there's always that option as well.
Yeah, I was with a client this past week a lot, and he came over from Tulare, and he was just adamant on how the Citrix SD-WAN solution is hands down the best one out there. And I was in that boat to begin with, but having someone who had no reason to tell me anything other than the truth, tell me that over and over again was very reassuring, and definitely something that we want to see be part of more and more of our projects. Because I think we've covered this. I think we've covered, better together, sharing accountability, providing with access to Citrix resources. I think we've covered that pretty well. It looks like the last part of the blog here is about how to get started. So Tony, you want to kind of coach us on what that would look like?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. From a customer standpoint, if you do want, skin in the game and accountability from both your partner and Citrix, let your partner know, and and they'll get in contact with me or our services salesperson. We call them our service relationship manager, or SRM. Every Citrix sales team has that resource assigned to it, and I can certainly figure out very quickly, who that resource is, make an introduction between, our partner team and that person within Citrix, and together, then, they can meet with the customer, understand the requirements, and put together a very solid collaborative services delivery approach for the customer.
That's great. Bill, have you had a chance to, are we currently engaged on one of these projects yet?
We've got one has closed, and we're in the process of getting things scheduled with the customer along with the services delivery team from Citrix. So yes, we're in the thick of it right now. We haven't actually begun, on-site time with the customer. That's coming in March, but we have all the framework in place to get started in March with both with our consulting team as well as the Citrix Consulting team.
And I guess one thing to highlight here, and I think we have, but I guess it just should flat out be said, is that if you're a Citrix customer and you're listening to this podcast and you want this type of engagement, it's definitely beneficial to you if you bring it up and don't rely on your partner to bring it up. But if you proactively ask for it, that's probably the best way to get this going for your benefit. Well, guys, with that, Tony, any other topics related to this blog specifically that you think we ought to cover?
Only that, so far, Andy, I'm very, very, very pleased with, how the relationship around this offering and this program has been going between XenTegra and Citrix. I think you guys are, have an awful lot to offer to both your customers and to Citrix through this program. And so I just very much look forward to continuing to develop that and work on more and more successful projects with you.
No, that's great. And I appreciate you guys letting us be part of it early. Hey, Beau, anything else you would like to cover before we kind of wrap the podcast up?
No, I just wanted to reinforce a lot of what we've already discussed and how great XenTegra is to partner with. And I'm really looking forward to a very successful year in 2020, while both XenTegra and Citrix Consulting can work together to help drive customer satisfaction.
No, that's great. I appreciate you guys saying all that. Probably goes. We definitely didn't put you up to it, but I definitely appreciate that. Now would be a good time maybe to do a XenTegra commercial if that wasn't one already. But we've had a good run of it so far. In January, we were named U.S. Partner of the Year for Citrix and Partner of the Year for iGel Technologies. So it's been a successful year of awards so far. Now we just need to go make sure we have successful projects, and this co-op program can be a big part of that story.
Yes, it can.
Well, guys, with that, we'll wrap it up, and hope everybody has a great day, and appreciate people listening and hopefully gaining value out of the content. Feel free to leave us feedback if you're not, or if you are, either way. But Tony, Beau, thanks for joining. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Beau.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Citrix Session with your hosts, Andy Whiteside and Bill Sutton. A special thanks to our guests. Podcast produced by Pete Downing. Head over to XenTegra.com/podcast to listen to all podcasts in this series.